Howdy ho, good neighbor. Today we are flying high above Napa, California. That's right. There she is, or he, the newest hotel slash townhouses slash shopping center slash business park. I don't know. But the rumor has it that this project will be 7 stories tall. That's right. So when you have a job this big, well, you need 2 big cranes and a whole bunch of pumpers. You see those long snouts sticking out the building? Those are cement pumpers. So some days all those cement trucks are here, but on this day, the pumpers were quiet. But they definitely always have something going on here, whether it be prepping the floors or getting ready for a pour. It's schedule, and each floor needs to be right on schedule with the other building, so you can't have one building going up faster than the other. So I wonder if it is kind of a race to see who will get to the top first. And if there's any kind of competition, I don't know, but I know for a fact that everybody's moving. There's not one person just standing around on a job like this. Probably the only person that's sitting still is that crane operator, and he's got a lot of things on his mind, so nobody is sitting still in their head. Everybody's working. But if there's 7 stories here, well, it looks like they have a few more stories to go. So they are prepping this floor for the next hangars. So basically all those people are doing are setting hangars for the pipe underneath that floor. So there's a lot of plan reading and scheduling and other trades getting in to disputes with other trades saying, nope, our line goes here. So a lot of coordination's happening right before your eyes. I know for a fact when you're on a job this big, you cannot sit still too long without another problem arising. It seems to me that when you get a lot of these people on the same job, well, it seems that no coordination has ever been coordinated. It seems like everybody's fighting with everyone else, saying, hey, this is my spot. There's one of those old pumper trucks running. You can see the long arm of that pumper pouring concrete into that wall. So right there, those guys are pouring concrete down into a wall, and they have a vibrator, and they make sure all the air pockets are out of the wall. So that wall is being poured as we speak. They do sections at a time. Let that dry, and then they'll come back and do another section. But like I was saying about the coordination, yeah, it doesn't seem to me like these big jobs get coordinated that well. But they do. They all get done. But I found that it seems like there's a little confusion. Especially when you get somebody that gets your spot. You know, that's why we try to get in first, because if your pipe is in before another trade's pipe, well, usually the other trade has to go around your pipe. Unless it's plumbing. Plumbing needs a grade. You got to have the plumbing needs to have a grade, so it can't go up and down and all around. not like the sprinkler fitters. But yes, there are some falling hazards here. As you can see, holes in the floor, wet concrete, tripping hazards. So whenever you're on a job like this, I think the number one cause of injuries is slips and falls, just because there's so much material everywhere, and if you don't look where you're going, you will slip and fall. But here is where that crane, you could see right there, was not really doing anything. I had to keep it, well, it was doing something. It was moving around, but I had to keep my eye on that piece of metal right in the middle of it. I tried to get a peek at the crane operator here and maybe have him give me a wave or a little flip me off or a moon or something, but no, I could not see him. But I didn't use my zoom lens. I have a zoom lens, but I didn't use it. But that crane operator, our crane operators, there's two of them right now. They climb that thing one time in the morning and they leave it in the afternoon. So if you think, well, where do they go to the bathroom? Well, I've watched a video on that, and just like you would think, they have a bucket. So they do their business. We all have business to do, don't we? In a bucket. Then after their business is done, they lower it down to these people, and they take care of it. Or I'm sure that the crane operators take care of his own buckets, as they say. Well, here's a good look at the heroes of the job site. These guys, these rebar workers, oh boy, look at them. They're bent over all day long using their hands, tying that tie wire, pulling that rebar, and lifting it and moving it. So whoever is a rebar worker, or I'm sure they have a proper name, they're called iron workers. These guys are the unsung heroes of each construction project. They have to walk around that awkward deck all day, try not to step on other people's stuff while they pull their rebar in and out like a finely tuned guitar. That's right. They have to pull that rebar and make it tight. It can't be sagging, because when the concrete gets poured in there, you can see right there that concrete needs to stay firm and strong. So all their rebar needs to be tight with their tie wire. So there is a trade that is unsung, and that is the iron worker. And you can see all the iron that goes into a building like this. So just so many aspects of a high-rise. First, you got to prefab all that iron on a job somewhere far away. And then a truck has to bring it in. And that crane has to load it up. And these guys, well, they get to tie it up and put it where it needs to go to form this beautiful building. And that's what they're doing. They're forming it up and pouring it up. Form and pour, as we say. And yep, 7 stories. How many more do they got? Well, we'll find out. I didn't get a proper diagnosis on 7 stories. I just heard that through the grapevine. But there it is, the big city of Napa. That's right. It used to be a small little town, but now Napa's got a Costco, and well, they got rid of the Kohl's, because that is where that new high-rise stands, is where the old Kohl's was. Kohl's department store. Well, Napa has had some flooding in the old days, but nowadays they have this river that is supposed to be engineered to go right through the city. So their flooding should never happen again. Should is the proper term in that one. Well, right in the middle of the screen there is the old Napa jail. That's right, I said old. That big square building right there is empty. There are no more prisoners in that jail. They're all moved to the outskirts of town. So goodbye, Napa jail. That is an empty building. So how much longer will that stay empty? With real estate so valuable, that must be just money being wasted, I would imagine. And glory to God, look at that beautiful church with their beautiful steeple. There's always one beautiful church somewhere in town, and that Napa has it right there. Along with the old Uptown Theater. That's right, if you're not going downtown, you're going uptown. So Napa has that old theater still in existence, plays music with some bands. And they got another theater over here, the Blue Note. So Napa is full of live music. And look at that hotel. That's a brand new hotel. I wonder how many people are going to be leaving that hotel and stay at the new one. And I wonder if you're robbing Peter to pay Paul with your hotels and stuff. I don't know. I wonder if a lot of old, smaller hotels, they don't like this new development. But no one likes change, and definitely change is coming to Alameda. Alameda, excuse me. Napa and Alameda for that matter. Change is coming everywhere. So if you don't like change, well, you're not liking life right now, because everything is changing. I don't like it any more than you, but we do it. We do it. So right here, I think I needed to load a new battery. So I'll give you a little peace out. And what I'm trying to do right here is I'm trying to smile real big for you because of that missing tooth. I have a missing tooth that is just sticking around longer than I thought. So let's see if you could see a big smile from me. You see a missing tooth? There I am. Big old ham. Now, do you see the crane operator? I don't see him. He might be using his bucket. I tried to zoom in and see a crane operator. Maybe they have AI doing all the crane. Maybe it's all electric. I would not put that past the future about in the future that these cranes will be manned from a computer. You won't even have to go up into the crane operation loading area or driving cockpit. You will be able to just drive it from a computer. Why wouldn't you, if you're just looking at a screen anyway, just drive it from the ground in a little office? I don't know. But that is the future. I'm sure it's coming. Yep, they have the old Kohl's department store is what they tore down. And that's the byway. You can see the river that can go right through. That Napa River is S-shaped, but they built that little byway so the river can go right through. When the river runs hard, it can go straight. Before, they used to flood all of downtown, and now the engineers have finally put a stop to the flooding of Napa, supposedly. We'll find out in the next big storm how good that, I want to call it elbow or something bow. that's in that river that made it work. Well, you can see all the blue conduit and all the blue stress cables, and anywhere you see that blue, that's important piping and cabling that's going to get buried. So if you don't think everything has a reason, well, it does. That concrete is so heavy, they have to put stress cables, and as soon as they pour that concrete and it dries, they pull that stress cable really tight, thousands of pounds, and that tension is what holds up all that heavy concrete. So it's very important not to ever drill into that cabling and snap it, because if you have a snap tension, you will have a major operation to fix it. I've seen it before where people have drilled their little concrete anchors and they busted one of those cables, and that's not a good day for anybody. Well, I guess I've probably been rambling enough about Napa's newest hotel. Now that's another question for everybody, is who is going to be able to pay to rent space for no one to come into? That's right, there is nobody that shops anymore. So if no one shops, who's going to open new restaurants? And I noticed a lot of for lease all over the Bay Area. So investors, poor little rich men, are having problems with their empty buildings. So everybody's got problem. Even a poor little rich man has a empty building. All right, I said I've rambled enough, but here you go. One neighborhood of Napa, that's what it used to look like. Nice, beautiful homes are now getting surrounded by tall, massive high-rises, basically. Napa used to be 2-story buildings, and now they're building 7-story high-rises. So times are changing. Now that foam right there, all that white foam, makes me think that they're almost topped out on this building. So maybe 7 stories was a lie. I don't know. I don't see them jacking these cranes up over on this side. So maybe it was 7 stories on one side and 4 on the other. I don't know. We'll find out together, won't we? All right. Well, there's your last little look of Napa and the surrounding beautiful mountains. So if you live in Napa, there's your house right over there. And there's that S-shaped river that I was talking about. See how that river does like an S-shaped? Now it can go right through the town of Napa with that little elbow they added in there. Well, I'll tell you what, it is a beautiful town, and if you get a chance to come to Napa, well, you can see that there is a lot to do and a lot to see, and a lot is growing. They have a Costco now, and I heard if you like wine, well, that Costco is the best one in town, or the best one in the area, I should say, because of, well, it makes sense, all the wine around here. All right, well, we'll keep an eye on this building and see how high she goes, 4 stories or 7. I don't know. Well, as always, I want to thank you again for coming along with me on these Napa's newest hotel adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody.